Hi, this is French A1.1. Today's lesson is entitled Avoir and Etre. Today you are going to learn how to say who you are and what you have. I'm going to start with two sentences. Je suis Lisa. J'ai un livre. Let's look at them. You probably understand the first one, Je suis Lisa, as we have studied it in one of our previous lectures. The second one, J'ai un livre. J'ai un livre means I have a book. Today we are studying two verbs. Let's look at the first one. Je suis Lisa. Suis is the verb être, to be in English. I would like to explain a little more how to use this verb. Être is the infinitive form of the verb. Infinitive is the verb as you find it in the dictionary. It is the natural form of the verb. So, when you use that verb in a sentence, you cannot use the infinitive form. Therefore, you cannot say Je être Lisa. In English, it would be as saying I to be Lisa. When you're using the verb in the sentence, you have to conjugate it. Je suis Lisa. So, suis is the conjugated form of this verb. Now, let's look at the second sentence. J'ai un livre. Ai is the verb avoir, to have. Again, avoir is the infinitive form of this verb, so you cannot use it in a sentence. You cannot say Je avoir un livre. It would be as saying I to have a book. You have to conjugate this verb if you're using it in a sentence. So you're gonna say J'ai un livre. Before we look at the conjugations, I'm going to talk about personal pronouns. Let's take a look. Je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. The first thing that I would like to explain is il and elle. If you listen carefully, you probably notice that there is no difference in the pronunciation of il, one person, and il, plural. So the S in il and elle, meaning they, is silent. You are going to differentiate them with the form of the verb. The second thing I would like to point out is vous and tu. We have studied in a previous lecture the difference between tu and vous used in formal and informal situations. I'm going to remind you how to use them very quickly. So, tu is used to refer to address rather to one person in an informal situation. So you are going to use tu when you're talking with your friends or your family. Vous is used in two different situations. The first one is when you're addressing one person in a formal situation. Like when you say, Excusez-moi, madame, vous êtes espagnole? So in that situation, you are talking to one person in a formal way. The second situation is when you're addressing to a group of people. So in that case, vous is plural. So in English, it's like when you say, you guys, ta ta ta. In both cases, the form of the verb is the same. Now, let's look at the conjugation for être, to be. I'm going to read it. Je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont ou elles sont. I would like to point out the fact that the pronunciation for tu es, il est is the same. However, the spelling is different. So you have to pay attention to that. Now, let's look at the conjugation for avoir, to have. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. So this verb translates as I have, you have, he has, we have, you have, and they have, of course. I would like to also point out that tu as, il a have the same pronunciation, but the spelling is different. So tu as has an S at the end, while il a doesn't. There is a little difference that matters to differentiate être and avoir in the last form. So that is when you're using il plural. Pour être, the pronunciation is ils sont. Ils sont. Pour avoir, the pronunciation is different. You are going to say ils ont. Ils ont. This pronunciation thing matters because when you're speaking, you have to pronounce correctly in order for the person to understand which verb you are using. Now, let's practice. Today, I want you to conjugate avoir or être in the sentences. So I'm going to give you a personal pronoun and you have to conjugate the verb with the correct form. So there are two ways to do this. You can either stop the video and print the PDF form if you want to have the verbs with you, or you can use the notes that you have been taking while watching this class. First one, il fatigué. And the answer is il est fatigué. He is tired. Next one, nous une voiture. And the answer is nous avons une voiture. We have a car. Next one, vous français. And the answer is vous êtes français? So in that sentence, you're either addressing one person formally, hey madam, are you French? Or you can either be addressing a group of people. Are you guys French? Next one, tu un téléphone? So it goes, tu as un téléphone? Literally, it translates as you have a phone. That's it for today. My advice for you is to practice these verbs very carefully. They're very basic and you're going to use them every day. So it's probably going to take a little bit of time for you to memorize these forms, but if you do it on a regular basis, you're going to be confident in no time. You are going to find additional exercises in the PDF form that comes with this class. You can also use the website quizlet.com to practice the vocabulary that's featured in this lecture and in the exercises. Until next time, au revoir et bonne journée.